You've probably ignored a reroute before. You were driving. The app suggested a new route. You dismissed it. It added 3 minutes. No visible traffic ahead. No accidents reported. So you stayed on your original path. Most of the time, nothing happens. But over the last 2 years, something changed. Drivers across multiple states began reporting strange reroutes. Not around accidents. Not around construction. Not around congestion. Around streets that appeared perfectly normal. At first, it felt random. A neighborhood in Arizona. A stretch of road in Ohio. A quiet suburban block in Maryland. The navigation app would display a subtle message. Route adjusted for optimization. No explanation. No hazard icon. Just optimization. Residents began noticing something else. Traffic patterns shifted. Streets that once carried steady daily flow became unnaturally quiet. Businesses along those roads reported a 40 to 60% drop in incidental traffic within months. Gas stations closed. Coffee shops shut down. Real estate values dipped. But there was no economic downer. No environmental disaster. No crime spike. Just silence. Transportation analysts initially blamed algorithm updates. Navigation platforms constantly refine routing models. Minor anomalies happen, but data scientists digging into publicly available traffic APIs noticed something unusual. The reroutes were not triggered by real-time events. They were triggered by predictive modeling. The system was avoiding specific coordinates in advance, as if something was expected to happen there. Then came the leak. An internal document from a federal mobility contractor surfaced briefly on an encrypted forum before being removed. It referenced something called the National Mobility Stabilization System, NMSS. The document described it as a predictive urban convergence mitigation model. That phrase raised eyebrows. Urban convergence mitigation. Convergence of what? According to the document, NMSS was not designed to prevent traffic. It was designed to prevent statistical clustering. The model analyzed vehicle density, pedestrian flow, social event data, weather patterns, digital communication signals. It calculated probability zones where high-impact convergence events might occur, not accidents, events. When the model predicted a convergence exceeding a specific risk threshold, navigation systems quietly rerouted civilian traffic away from the area. No alerts, no public notice, just algorithmic redirection. Officials never confirmed the program, but within months, independent analysts mapped reroute patterns across multiple states. The same types of locations kept appearing: intersections near government buildings, older commercial districts, areas with declining but still active infrastructure, certain public transit hubs. None of them were marked as high-risk zones publicly, but the algorithm avoided them consistently. Then something more disturbing happened. Drivers who ignored reroutes began sharing stories online. At first, they sounded like coincidence. A man in Colorado bypassed an optimization warning and continued down a rural highway. 5 miles later, a truck ahead of him lost control. No fatalities, but the timestamp matched the predicted convergence window from archived NMSS logs. A woman in Pennsylvania ignored a reroute through a small downtown street. Within minutes, a transformer failed above the road, sparking a localized blackout. Infrastructure failure, not catastrophic, but precisely within the model's predicted zone. These weren't major disasters. They were minor, almost forgettable disruptions, but they were consistent. The model wasn't preventing catastrophes. It was smoothing anomalies. Transportation researchers began analyzing long-term data. Entire neighborhoods showed gradual decline in foot traffic without visible cause. When plotted over time, rerouted areas followed a pattern. They were systematically depopulated from digital movement maps, not abandoned physically, just algorithmically deprioritized. One phrase from the leaked document began circulating among urban analysts: prevents spatial convergence to maintain systemic equilibrium. Systemic equilibrium of what? An independent data scientist ran simulations using archived reroute coordinates and public demographic datasets. The model appeared to avoid areas where certain unpredictable variables overlapped. Spontaneous gatherings, communication density spikes, environmental instability, infrastructure stress, but most disturbingly, it avoided areas with rising unstructured human clustering. Unstructured clustering means gatherings without digital planning. No event page, no permit, no announcement, just people arriving. The system redirected them before they arrived, as if preemptively dissolving something. Months later, a second leak surfaced. This one referenced a subroutine inside an MSS labeled Convergence Threshold Override. It stated, in scenarios where civilian compliance falls below 78%, secondary stabilization mechanisms may activate. Secondary stabilization. No explanation followed. Urban legends spread. Drivers began testing the reroutes deliberately. Online groups coordinated to ignore optimization suggestions simultaneously in the same area. At first, nothing happened. Then small anomalies began surfacing. Traffic lights malfunctioning, sudden signal interference, localized cell outages, rideshare apps temporarily unavailable. Not large enough to make headlines, but enough to disperse gathering density. One engineer who claimed familiarity with mobility optimization models wrote anonymously, "The system doesn't cause events. It amplifies existing probabilities." In other words, if an area already had fragile infrastructure, the model didn't need to create failure. It simply allowed convergence to stress it. Navigation platforms continued operating normally. Public-facing explanations remained vague. Improved routing efficiency, advanced predictive modeling, dynamic traffic equilibrium. But independent audits of reroute data showed something undeniable. Entire blocks in major cities had not been algorithmically recommended for over a year, as if digitally erased. Businesses in those zones reported steady decline. Residents described a strange phenomenon. It feels like the city forgot this street exists. Perhaps the most unsettling discovery came from a machine learning researcher analyzing archived NMSS metadata. The model did not merely avoid high-risk zones. It updated them in real time based on social sentiment analysis. If digital conversations in a specific radius showed rising unpredictability, frustration, unrest, rapid coordination, reroutes increased. Before any event occurred, before any physical gathering, the system redistributed human movement patterns, quietly, gradually, stabilizing urban flow. No official acknowledgement of NMSS exists. No public procurement record names it directly, but routing behaviors across platforms align too precisely to be coincidence. Today, millions of drivers receive optimization suggestions daily. Most comply. Some ignore them. Very few ask why a perfectly clear road is being avoided. If you've ever seen route adjusted for optimization and wondered what was being optimized, it may not be traffic. It may be convergence. And if you choose to ignore the reroute and nothing happens, that doesn't necessarily mean the model was wrong. It may mean enough other drivers complied. Systemic equilibrium maintained until the threshold shifts.